It's alright, it's okay. Doesn't really matter if you're old and gray. It's alright, I say it's okay. Listen to what I say. It's alright, doing fine. Doesn't really matter if the sun don't shine. It's alright, I say it's okay. We're getting to the end of the day. I take a low tech, take your pick. 'Cause you can't teach an old dog a brand new trick. I don't care what everybody says. At the end of
Hey, Ralph Smith. It's October 8th, 2025.
to ease my mind, golden days. It's alright, take your time. Everybody thinks that you passed your prime. It's alright, it's okay. You still got plenty to
Marcus, is
say.
this a good movie? It's like being some of the friends first.
I see Graham Noel. Let me turn this down. All right. Rob Smith here. I see Graham Nolan's doing a live for Monsters Day. People doing monsters. I don't understand the anger and such involving monsters and evil and skeletons, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Why don't we want to laugh and have fun? Um, I understand occasionally. I've done one or two monsters. One monster, I don't know, but they're not mean and angry. And I'm not saying you can't do mean and angry. It's just that that's all that seems available. You go into the Halloween. I go to the Sam's Club, and you got these giant witches that are trying to get you, and big giant skulls, and I mean everything's dead and angry. And come on, we can laugh a little bit. Well, I look. There is nothing laughing and fun there. Nothing. Nothing. Zero. I was in another store. I saw the same thing. There was no happy Halloween. It was all angry and mean Halloween. You wonder why we're angry? There you go. There you go. Easy to find. Now you can make happy monsters. I'm not saying you can't do anything angry, but everything angry, not good. We could do better. We could do better than that. If you happen to tune into this, I just at the last minute decide to do this. I posted it over on my Artistic Whimsy, which has 40 people so far. I started in July, and I haven't been really working at trying to get it. I picked this up yesterday. We have a bunch of murals throughout Florida, but specifically there's some in the Florida House, and they're historic murals that were done. This is by the Honorable Steve Christofelli. This is about 10 years old, I think. 2014-16. Oh, there you are. But these are all paintings that are in the Capitol part, the House Capitol part of the legislative building. I've seen a number of these there. I'm not an art guy. I don't really care for looking. I'm not getting to seeing this kind of stuff. And I really don't like seeing things that make things look realistic. This is very Hildebrandt-ish. There's a lot of Christopher Still. I mean, each of these are Christopher. This is a Christopher Still, and that's a Christopher Still. So it's like one guy did a whole ton of this stuff. And the idea is to explain it. There's all kinds of hidden things and stuff. And so you can, of course, the alligator, and you've got a cypress tree and a cypress knee. And it's, I think it's really neat. I think it's really neat. But I think there's too much of one artist, one painter. Can't you get some other guys? There are others. And yeah, Christopher Still stuff's really good. I don't care, again, much for the new Capitol. So you have Andy Jackson. And was this the first state house? I think that's too tall. But I may be wrong. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the historic part too much, because that's my bailiwick here. But and that is pretty much. Are they showing a black man? No. That is historically inaccurate. Yeah, no, they weren't black. They spoke Spanish and from Spain. There were no black men. I never noticed that before. All right, as Paul Harvey would say. All right, so today is, but this is a whole collection of that explains what the paintings are supposed to be about, and obviously there's some historical accuracy, probably for PCDEI reasons, which is sickening because we know better. But I saw their funding for Volusia County has been refused for art stuff. Good, good. I was in government for 20 years, been working government since. It is so much. They call it good old boy. There's nothing more good old boy than arts, folks. You toe a line, you do what they say, you're gone. For example, someone like me and the person who posted so in the cartooning field, we couldn't get the time of day from that stuff. They would never, ever, ever. And I've tried to get them to fund, won't do it. Ugh. All right, I'll stop. I'm getting thinking about going back to doing some of my political podcasts. Because and not that I don't care if someone listens, I just can just vent steam because this kind of thing angers me. That a lot of artist type folks get upset and think there's something wrong with that. There's 10 gabillion tons of money in this state that could fund 500 times more than what the Volusia County Commission could do. I don't think my friend Andrea in Volusia County, who won't know, probably doesn't even know this story's happening, is paying taxes and has no idea that she's paying for this thing. I would figure my friend Cliff probably knows about the story, but doesn't actually know how much of his money is going into this or is not going into this. And if he really wanted to get this done, he'd go contribute directly. His bookstore is just 2 blocks from the theater that's going to probably be the biggest one hit by this. But there's all sorts of arts, quote unquote art stuff across the county. But it's only if only if you do certain things at certain times. Only if it's really crooked stuff. And I did not know that in the late 80s, early 90s. I learned it real hard, real fast, and I got furious about it. Wrong. All right, so let's get to this. I'm supposed to be here drawing, not doing a podcast about art stuff. But though this is an artistic thing, government shouldn't be involved in art stuff because it just basically hands a bag of money to a bunch of control freaks who then decide what they do and don't want. And if you want certain things, you can forget it. If you do want certain things and you know the right person and you're pals with them, they'll let you do anything you want. Oh, so crooked. Oh. All right, so here's today's World Octopus Day. Okay, how can I do this? Oh, I know. There's also Cattober, so I've been including kitties with all of these. As I was saying earlier, it is monsters. A lot of folks are doing monsters. And yes, I admit I'm more awake. I've been doing these late. I'm half asleep. I might try doing one at 7 o'clock anyway, because I accidentally posted 7. Ooh, this is running out of ink. If you have to come by here and want to click the thumbs up, I appreciate it. Whoopsie. And the arts thing upsets me because people also think they're entitled to it. Well, it's art. Government should pay for it. No, they shouldn't. Why? There's tons of people with tons of money. They could take care of this times 1,000. Look at the stock market. All those people could be contributing to art stuff in Volusia County or anywhere. And you're going to get what you want more. It was frustrating when we had a thing called United Arts. First of all, arts group I was with, Pine Castle Folk Arts Center, we got cut out because, well, we didn't know the right people. And the organization had been around so long and been getting contributions from the exact same people who contributing to United Arts. So they contributed to United Arts. So when we went, when United Arts wouldn't contribute to us, though they had promised they would, we were on their list, and then they suddenly decided to take us off. When we went back to our friends who had donated before, they wouldn't do it. They couldn't do it because they donated everything to United Arts, which effectively had to sell it. That was one of the first eye-opening things, big eye-opening things I had. And we suspect that was an intentional effort. People want to get rid of the realtor builder developers do not want historical things, which is what Pine Castle Folk Arts Center was. It was about Florida folk. There was later a folk art museum opened in Orlando, but it's not about Florida folk. It's about in general. That's perfectly fine. Don't do Florida history. You'll hurt our real estate sales. What I really want to do is I want to get some other work done, but I've got most everything I'm doing is computer wise. I just don't have time. Oh, there's somebody there. Hello, Cheryl Cornelius. Yeah, if you hear things about arts funding being cut, that's a thumbs up. That gives a chance for artists to get stuff out because nothing is more crooked than government funding arts thing, as I learned when I was with the city of Orlando. You better know the right people in the right places. You fill all the forms you want, but if they don't like you, they won't put you in. If it was independent, when it's private, then they'll consider you because they kind of have to. It's not good old boy. All the art stuff is all severe good old boy stuff. As I say, we lost our Pine Castle Folk Arts Center because of that garbage. I couldn't get any cartooning done. They wouldn't give me the time of day. I'm not the right kind of artwork. We have government funding. No. We had a art museum at Orlando City Hall. I can get anything shown there because mine stuff's whimsical and happy. They want angry and upset and disgusting stuff. So I don't think anything I ever did was ever shown in that little gallery. It was so noted. And the guy who ran it really hated my guts because I was very vocal about this stuff. I was furious. Yeah, it's really, really bad. So I saw Volusia County's not funding their art stuff. Good. Don't do it. Good. What it should be. I don't care about the reasons. I just noticed that. I mean, their reasons is exactly why you don't want government handling this. There's $1 billion out there of investors. Let them go get them. Stock market is 46,000. Yeah, one of those people, and you'll get 5 times the money for the art stuff. They got it. Show them they support the community. Guilt trip them in it. They'll do it. Because that's what we had to do with Pioneer Days. We were trying to survive after we were posted as a recipient of money, and then they decided, nah, we can't have the art stuff. Again, the realtor builder developers. My friend Beth was posting about that today. She's upset about it. She's in California. She's upset about Volusia County refusing that. No, she should be happy. It's good news. First of all, stop getting people to rely on government, which is a good step. I know Elaine was doing puppets. There was a fellow doing puppets with the city of Orlando. part of a kind of arts program, and something went wrong, and they got upset with him. Someone's nose got out of joint. And he was dropped, kicked out of there. Now that's not to say it can't happen in the private industry too, but it's a lot. It's going to happen in government funding because it's set. Once the big pot of money goes in, it's set. That's where the crooked stuff starts happening. Remember, people were all upset about the puppet guy getting shown the door, and I'd already gone through so much with this stuff. I said, guys, you should have been expecting it. It's going to happen. Any thoughts about that, Cheryl? I know a lot of folks haven't gone through all the stuff I've gone through, but it makes me upset. Everybody should be able to be part of the arts stuff if it's paid for by taxpayers. It should not be picky choosy stuff. And United Arts is still going on. I became against anything United. I'm against United Way. You want to pay for something, you go right to the source. You give them a check. You give them cash. Don't give it to in between people because they're going to cut it apart. They're going to take a cut. Someone else will take a cut. You never know what the final result's going to get in the end, if they get anything. And I've come to find out that a lot of United Way organizations do not get the money in the end. Closer to the source you are, the more you know the money's going to be spent well and right. Just like in a church, give the money to the church guy. Don't give it to somebody out down the street who said he's going to give it to the church guy. You give it to the church guy. Put it into play, and still keep an eye on things. You're investing. You can't invest. You can't check on the government. When government gives a pot of money to a arts organization, you really can't check it easily. Even though there is supposed to be an annual report that states all this, few people look at it. Few people have any idea where the money goes, if it goes anywhere. And they will spend every last drop of that cash, even for things you don't need. And again, it's selective artistic stuff. Most unfortunate. Yeah, and that's if you know as I say, there's nothing more good old boy than arts programs with government. I'm well aware of a lot of examples given over in history, but that I've personally experienced, and I've been in all kinds of forms of government, specifically with the city, transportation and stormwater, wastewater, this, that. I've never saw more corruption than the arts stuff. Because most people aren't paying attention. They just think, oh, they'll do the right thing. No, they won't. No, they won't. They're there. They're folks that are looking to steal money, and they will. It's easy. You just say, just put a dot on a piece of paper, say that's art. I want to exhibit. If they know the right people, who know the right people, boom, they get an art exhibit. But if you're a skilled person who could write or draw, do poetry, whatever, if you don't know the right people, first of all, it gets very difficult to do. But if you know certain people and they don't like you, then you're really out. It just shouldn't be the case. And if it's private, then it's up to them. If they don't want you, then at least you can say, okay, I get it. But if it's government, they take you no matter what. And that's bad because they won't. So I'm glad to hear I would love to see more of that happening. Again, all these stock market people, God, they've got billions of dollars sitting around there. Instead of building houses in Florida no one wants, start contributing locally to art, whether it be an arts organization or a history museum or whatever. Contribute to stuff that actually helps people. Stop. And then when the stock market goes down, it's going to be funny because stock market's going to go down. It is. As it goes, when it starts sliding slowly and so on, you're going to see no difference with the charity organizations because they weren't getting much of nothing from those people because they're using middle people like Charles Schwab and so to put money in. They're doing day trading. They're not. All right, I'll stop. As I say, I'm thinking about starting my political podcast. That's one of two things. Someone else today was writing about being upset how she couldn't get health care because, or that some friend of hers was going to lose her job at a clinic. Well, we're back to the stock market issue. If they can't build houses we don't need, they're building clinics we don't need, and there's 10 tons of clinics. They become like 7-Elevens. They're everywhere. Driving through Gainesville yesterday, there's a clinic, there's another clinic, there's a different kind of clinic, there's another one. Driving through Seminole Orange County, what was that, last week or whenever, Beefy King and all, I went to this, there's a clinic, there's too many clinics. And they can't all stay open, and there's tons of people getting degrees. I mean, I went by University of Florida yesterday. They've got 2 monster buildings teaching medicine. All these kids are coming out looking for jobs. There's way too much of all that. So yeah, people are going to start losing their jobs because there's just not enough people start getting sick, start filling up these places, give them some money. But see, again, it's government. Because of Obamacare, there's government money that'll keep these places open, even if they have no customers. I'm taking a friend to a doctor tomorrow. I'm gonna look at how many people are there, what's going on. The places are usually somewhat empty, if not entirely. All right, there's that. Yeah, I don't know much about art either, but I know about corruption and government. All right, there is Octopus Day and Cattober, so Inktober and Cattober covered right there. And you see, God, what a difference from when I do this at night. When I do this at night, last night I was talking like this so long a day. Great seeing Dr. Bob Knight. I mean, why can't we get our water issues solved? Instead of blowing money on stupid art stuff, take that government money, put it into to preserving our water. Let's get some eelgrass in there. I was talking to somebody yesterday about that. Let's get eelgrass put into especially our whether it be the Crystal River or over Indian River Lagoon. Let's do that. Well, what a concept. No, we're gonna pay for someone to put a dot on a piece of paper. Yeah, let's give them $1 million. We'll keep all there. I don't care if all the water goes away. Well, should I draw something else? I can go away. I might come back at 7. I just want to get this out of the way today, right now. Here, I haven't done a monster. Well, here I know art. How would I do that? And these artsy people, so full of themselves, and they're mostly from out of state. They fit the stereotypes so well. I forget the name of the puppet guy at the City of Orlando. Exactly. So why? Here's a thought: cut the arts garbage and other, and let's give tax breaks to the citizens. There's not a good idea. So we could have some money. As I said, our friend Andrea, she's in Volusia County. She has no idea what even Cliff of Cliff's Books, who lives just down the street from the Athens Theater of D-Land. I'm sure he's aware of this story, but I doubt he has any idea how much money goes to the art stuff. I know that he could use the money and to cut his taxes from what he has to pay to have his bookstore. But give us a financial break and stop squandering our cash on stuff. Unless we have a say in it. I think every arts thing should be on a ballot and we vote yay or nay to it. Now I'm not against the idea. We could only have a say, but we don't. It's a select board of good old boys, girls usually. I should give her a. They're not necessarily all wealthy, but they all are very full of themselves and self righteous about the art stuff. Ew, we'll tell you what we want and don't want. I was really set back when I had a battle about trying to do some cartooning stuff. It was going to be educational for children, but ew, we don't want cartooning. That's not art. Ooh. I got the library to do an exhibit of Florida cartoonists, but that was a bit of a fight too. But it was because I knew people. I knew the head of the community services. I knew friends. I had friends on the county commission. That's how we got that cartooning exhibit. Otherwise, I don't know if it would have happened. So I'm an example. I didn't get any money from it at all. I mean, it's all volunteer. But it was a project for the county, Orange County in this case. And I don't think any arts money went to it. Book says is I wrote self-righteous arts views. That's there you go. I saw some folks get money for stuff and they don't even do artwork. Well, they do art-ish work, and it's not very good. But because they knew somebody, the cash flowed. And I've read and told of instances of this all over our country. I'm very much against that funding stuff. I think this is a kind of monster turkey because they're turkeys, all right. I'm coming in your area. I think this Friday, the 10th. But it's looking like I'm going to be kind of. Is that the day I'm busy? I'm going to be in Winter Park. I might also not go. Tired. Watch out for these claws. So this is arts organization, and it's not just government. It's overall arts organizations. But I'm fine if they're private because that's up to them. But government, it's for everybody. It ain't just you don't pick and choose. I mean, you're going to have to pick and choose quality and so on, and certain, I guess, there be certain community standards, but otherwise, I'm not going to do that right. Well, I guess it's getting back to how I'd like to get back into political cartooning. Someone was asking me about that the other day. I would. I just don't know where to put them. I hope Elaine's working on her poetry book. I just read a collection of Carl Sandburg, who's was a friend of our family. Really not a big fan of his work. Oops. Remember, I used to read a lot of the. I'd read the yearly arts program financial reports. I was shocked at how what the money went to and what didn't go to. How little of it actually went to art stuff because they could. Because who's paying attention? I was also surprised how many art type folks weren't reading it themselves. Should be upset about this. Ooh, we don't want to upset anyone, then we can't do anything. Well, they couldn't do anything anyway. All right. The arts monster. Var. I'm going to put the. How about that? Oh, I'm sorry, things being written. I don't know, Dave. I am more on trying to get out how do you feel about our programs that teach people and everyone to do art like the library? Well, as I said, the library, but I knew people. Thus, I was able to do it. But if it's done at the library, now things are changed. There are different people there. If I went in there asking about cartooning stuff, I don't think they'd do it. Art stuff taught at libraries, there's not enough discernment done. They're not actually checking to see if the people know what the hell they're doing. They just go ahead and grab somebody, throw them out there just to do it. And I found myself in that position. I did exhibit somewhere, and I was really upset that they didn't really check on me. Who am I? What have I done? I mean, I could go on a litany of 46 years as a professional, but I don't think they did enough checking up on me. I remember I gave a talk in Paisley, Florida, at the library, and I just thought they should know more than they did, and it bothered me because then of course, they couldn't introduce me well. They didn't know what to say. I just you gotta make sure you're checking on it. Who's doing what where. So if it's important. But they're just going through the motions. Again, and that's a government thing again. If it was a private thing, they would be checking on you. They're going to make sure you're in the right place. Now today they're. Well, I was surprised that I was over at the Hawthorne High School up in North or Mid Alachua County. I was surprised when we were there with an organization. Now it's a big national organization that I was working for, so I understand they kind of just let us in. But I think they maybe. I was glad they didn't do all the fingerprint stuff that they were doing in the late '90s, 2000s that had me stop doing additions. However, I think there should have been a little bit more looking into the person. A driver's license tells nothing. A driver's license is for one thing: driving. That's it. No information on there otherwise needs or has to be correct. Should be, maybe, but doesn't have to be. It's not a form of identification. That's why you can't use it for voting and so on. And you shouldn't. Well, and if you are, you shouldn't, because it doesn't tell anything. Your voting is based upon your address, and your address doesn't have to be correct in your driver's license. So, and I sure experienced that over the last year coming from Palm Bay to here, and I didn't change my driver's license. And I used it a number of times. I want to see an ID. I said, the information on there isn't right. Oh, they didn't care. Well, then why are you looking at it? Oh, because we're told to. What does that mean? So, I mean, that's that silly stuff. All right, same thing. If you'd think government would be the ones to really look over someone before they taught an art class, but a lot of the stuff's just going through the motions, get it done. And most of my showing driver's license were to government folks who just didn't care. Wow, that's a sad thing. Yeah, it's all. I'm sorry, I have the screen way far away from me now. We have had the HOA breathing down our neck about some projects around the house and working on these projects. Well, I'm against HOAs, as you know. I'm that too. At least that's private, and it's up to them. But the HOAs are typically controlled by control freaks. I wish the Villages is horrible. To be at the Florida Springs Institute yesterday, it gets me all fired up about our water problems, and here I am. I'll be probably heading back into the Villages here in the next week and a half. And you drive through there and they're just destroying the water, which is affecting you where you are, way down where you are. That water, their poisoning is coming your way, and you have to do something with it. And that HOA isn't aware of that and thinking about what to do about making sure you have better water quality is a real problem. Just because, I don't like how that your number on your house isn't the right font. Heaven's sakes. Yeah, and you're right. Library things are often led by employees who don't know what they're doing, and they're just going through the promotions. I think you have to teaching a art class or writing class or poetry class should be done by someone who has some experience and skill, not just anybody. But that's what's happening in the arts world now, and that's why you see the word art being used as anything. I put a dot on a piece of paper, it's art. My art. There's narcissistic garbage. It's not my art. The art I do. What the hell is that? It's a nebulous word. Artwork, art projects, cartooning. Be more specific. Art's a long, wide word. You don't make art. You make artwork. Anyway, first. Yeah, so this is turned into a podcast. Maybe I shouldn't do these in the morning, early. Yeah, I get all fired up, all my energies here. So, it didn't help that I saw that just as I'm going live. I saw Beth's post about the Volusia County thing, and it got me upset. which bled into one thing. Bled. All right, I'll stop. Enough of all this. There's my Inktober for today, which combines Octopus World Octopus Day and also Cattober, and then also here is per discussion that I started my views about the arts organizations out there. I mean, all arts organizations have problems. It's just that if they're government, then we should have a say, and we don't. That's where the problem is. But all art organizations are like this. They're just awful. And then HOAs are just as bad. Same mindset. Control. All right. Thank you for being here. I might come back at 7, be tired, and do something simpler, but who knows? Thank you for watching. If you think it's any good, click the thumbs up, which even I haven't done. And yes, by being involved in things for so long, I have some views. I was tickled. We might be doing some more projects for the Springs Institute, and I would love to do that. I got a neat thing I'll put on my car here. This is Florida Springs Heartland. It's a manatee sighting network. So if you see a manatee, report a manatee sighting. I think these are useless, but I'm going to put this on my cars because sometimes I'm driving on the turnpike or 75, and I'll see something like a station wagon go by, and there's a manatee behind the wheel. And I think I should call it in just so they know there's a manatee out there on the highway driving. You don't know where they're going, but at least we know where one is. They usually do the speed limit, I noticed. That's very interesting about manatee. They tend to drive the speed limit. Very cautious individuals they are. Anyway, all right. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back. Maybe I'll come back tonight, and maybe I'll be back tomorrow. But I should do these earlier just because I'm more awake, and then again, I get off onto tangents. It'd be good if I didn't see things that upset me before. So, thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you all. But I might try to see. Let me see how I'm going to do. Maybe I won't go on the 10th. I can't believe how tired I was just going up to High Springs yesterday, and I really didn't do all that much. So I'm really tiring out, and that bugs me. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you all next time. Rob Smith here. Thank you. Good night. Take care.